Welcome back to Overwatch Apex Season 2. I'm Doe, with me is Monte Cristo as always, and here's match number 2, guys. Runaway taking on Flashlux, and on paper, I gotta say, if you've been watching the recent matches from these two teams, this one may not be too close.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we haven't seen Flashlux in a while. They have actually swapped out 4 of their players for this first match. Wiso and Kisu will be making a return, but other than that, not a lot known about Flashlux these days. A little bit of hype around their new DPS player Vale coming into this match, but Runaway 3-0 against Africa Red, 3-0 against LW Red in those qualifiers for this tournament. But it does look like we're going to have Runner actually playing today on the support role instead of Koma, who is the Lucio player during the actual qualification process.
It is a bit of a surprise because Runner has moved over, as far as we know, to more of a coaching/management role in the team. But, you know, just like Tyrong for the Africa organization, makes an appearance as a player once in a while, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, he's mostly known as a major streamer, and there's a possibility here that we may see some sort of substitution situation happening. It's possible that he's playing because they're very confident against Flashlux right now, he wants to make that appearance for the season, but it is a bit interesting. Now, if you guys watched, or didn't watch, I should say, if you watched, if you didn't watch, you should know, coming into this match, that Cox was pretty amazing. So, take a look at these guys.
저는 러너웨이의 메인 힐러를 맡고 있는 러너라고 합니다. 시즌 1 때는 이제 학살이 원맨 팀이다 약간 소리를 들을 정도로 좀 영폭도 안 좋았고 좀 한정적인 팀이었던 것 같아요. 이번 리빌딩에 이제 그래서 영폭을 넓은 선수를 받았어요. 뭐 콕스 선수라든가 범퍼 선수라든가.
러너웨이가 예전보다 훨씬 더 강해졌다. 리빌딩이 정말 잘 된다라고 평을 할 수가 있습니다.
맞습니다. 네. 러너웨이가 다시 또 에이펙스 본선으로 올라갑니다.
승강전 때 그런 별명이 생겼더라고요. 삐빅 뭐 1부입니다, 2부입니다. 그러니까 1부 판독기라고 해서 그런 별명이 생겨서 일단 너무 다행이고요. 또 이제 콕스라는 새로운 멤버 영입이 저희에게 정말 컸던 것 같아요. 콕스 선수가 좀 어느 정도 오더를 맡아주면서 또 다양한 조합도 써보고 또 학살이의 겐지는 또 살려보고 학살 선수 입장에서 좀 더 편안해진 것 같아요. 자기의 마음의 짐이 좀 비워진 것 같아서 콕스 선수와 학살 선수 활약 기대하셔도 좋을 것 같습니다. 이번 시즌은 8강까지는 좀 목표로 두고 있고요. 승강전에서 보여줬다시피 좀 더 열심히 해서 좋은 결과로 팬분들에게 보답하는 러너웨이 팀 되도록 하겠습니다. 삐빅.
Well, Runaway might have been run into the promotion matches after Season 1, but man, they destroyed those promotion matches. Ended up going 6-0 in games, 3-0s apiece under versus LW Red and Africa Red. And really coming into this with a team that looks much, much improved from where they started last season.
Absolutely. Haksal, of course, known for his Genji play, but he has diversified a little bit. You know, we see some decent main play from him. Sometimes a few positioning issues. Played a little bit of Roadhog as well. But we really do have to talk about this guy, Cox. As you see, they have more than 6 players on this roster. Runner coming in for Koma today, and Bumper going to be out in favor of Stitch, looks like. So, a bit interesting. Cox played Widowmaker, Tracer, Reaper, Roadhog, even Zarya in the qualifier, so he showed quite a lot of depth.
He's pretty much the hit scan guy, and he's really, really good at it overall. You know, especially looking at this guy's McCree, you saw those Widowmaker clips, and it's just one of the many improvements that this team seems to have made. On top of that, Haksal, if you look at those promotion matches, he can play more than Genji now, it looks like, which is a lot to say about this guy.
Yeah, but he doesn't also need to play more than Genji because
maybe
they
not
have
this
another diverse player in terms of DPS now to complement him instead of Quad.
Sure.
플래시럭스 팀의 메인 탱커 겸 메인 오더를 맡고 있는 위소라고 합니다. 저희 팀은 에이펙스 16팀 중에서 유일무이하게 스폰서가 없는 아마추어 팀이지만 그 누구보다도 그 어느 팀보다도 굉장히 열정적인 팀입니다.
잠재력이 있죠. 어디까지 올라갈 것인가가 굉장히 궁금해지는 팀이고.
네.
일반적인 생각을 깨부수는 것이 신예 또 아마추어의 패기 아니었겠습니까?
네.
저희 팀이 아마추어 팀이다 보니까 연습 환경이 다른 팀에 비해서 그렇게 좋지가 않아요. 팀의 절반이 PC방에서 연습할 정도 굉장히 열악해요. 저희 팀이 이번 시즌에서 좋은 성적을 얻고 좋은 스폰서도 얻는 게 저희가 원하는 바예요. 어느 팀보다도 굉장히 커져 나갈 자신이 있어요. 저희 팀의 키플레이어라고 생각되는 선수는 플레타예요. 이 친구가 영웅폭이 굉장히 넓으면서도 브리핑이나 생각하는 면이 굉장히 뛰어나요. 플레타의 활약 기대해주세요. 저희 팀이 지난 시즌에 모든 모습을 보여줬다고 생각하지도 않고 제대로 된 플레이를 하지도 못한 것 같아요. 이번 시즌에서는 저번 시즌에 비해서 그 몇 배 이상을 뛰어난 모습을 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
Well, as Wiso said, Season 1 was pretty rough for these guys. They did manage to finish third in their group ahead of RG Titan, who they beat just barely, but they did get 3-0'd by both Afrika Blue and Rogue last season. So it was tough. You know, these guys, like you said, amateur team, trying to make a name for themselves. Now, they did play against MVP Space in another Korean tournament just last month, and it did not look so good. So unless they've made a lot of improvements practice-wise since then, I think, sadly for these guys, things might end up still being rough. You know, that said, a lot of talk going around about this guy Vale, and Fleta, like Wiso said, is a DPS to watch. He played a pretty good Pharah, he played a pretty good Roadhog, and we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, it's still such an uphill battle for them. Like, on paper, coming into this season of Apex, they are looking like the weakest team, and it's not encouraging to have such a poor results against MVP Space recently, particularly because MVP Space was basically, I think, undeniably the worst team in the first season of Apex. They put out some very poor performances, so Flash Lux is a long way to go. And it's going to be coming up against a team that really has been heating up, Runaway, even though they are going to be playing with some newer players or different players than they displayed in the qualifier. I mean, we look at the improvement that Runaway made. Hacksaw, like you said, at least adding Mei as a more reliable secondary hero. But when we think about Runaway, we also have to say, what is their playstyle? They've shown they can play dive comps. They played triple tank and Mei on defense. So they actually have quite a bit of strategic variation now in terms of compositions that they can run on a variety of different maps. So that depth is making them scary, not only in terms of their individual hero pools, but in terms of their overall strategy.
You know, in promotions too, if you watch Runaway, they were just playing a lot of, you know, very basic Overwatch, just going 2-2-2, relying on big plays from their DPS players, and then just kind of overall solid coordinated efforts from the team as a whole. And you know, if they can bring that into this first match against Flash Lux, I think they're going to go very well because, you know, again, I just watched that match today that Flash Lux played against MVP Space in the Arun Media tournament, Overwatch Grand Prix Season 3 a couple weeks ago, and it did not look good. They didn't have any of that coordination. They didn't really have any of those big individual plays. So, I hate to talk down about these guys so much before we've even seen them in the league, but looking at their recent results, looking at last season, you can't expect a whole lot. And as you can see, we have an audio issue. Or as you can maybe hear, we have an well, you can't hear it. You can see our audio issue.
You can
See that we have an audio issue.
hear you saying that there's an audio issue.
That's right.
But there's not an audio issue
Not with
on
us.
the stream.
No, we're fine.
We're good.
Our audio is perfect.
It's like
flawless.
honey for your ears.
That's right. It's like liquid gold for you. Wait, no, that's you don't want liquid gold poured in your ears.
No, you don't.
That's that guy from Game of Thrones. Didn't seem to work out too well.
That happened in real life, too.
Yeah, to a lot of people. Recently, were you a part of this? Or are you talking about like
No, like in the
a long time ago?
medieval
Yeah.
era.
Oh, okay, just checking.
Yeah. No, I don't
I
actually.
just wanted to make sure.
I wish I had enough money to waste gold like that, Doa, but
I mean, if like TSM players start disappearing, I'm gonna start getting worried that that's maybe what happened. You know.
I'm glad you think, though, that I'm going to assassinate pro gamers. That's really touches my heart.
It's not.
That's
you know,
why I'm actually in this industry, right?
It's not so much that you would do that. It's that I expect you would do it with molten gold.
It's a stylish way to do things, for sure.
If you're gonna, why not go all out? Breaking Bad taught us that you should not go with half measures, right?
That's right. And I take all of my moral advice from Breaking Bad. Did you know that?
I just use it for kind of an example for my pizza throwing skills.
Right on the roof.
Right on the roof.
Right on the roof
right.
every time. He really nails it, by the way. It's right on the roof.
It's all about
every
what you
time.
take from the show. I take the more wholesome things, I guess. Yeah. Throwing pizzas. Why not? I was really into Ninja Turtles back in the day too. It's chained throughout my life. This pizza chucking thing.
We'll have to make some YouTube videos about that soon.
I would love to.
Doa versus Korean pizza. Most Korean
Oh,
pizza.
don't get me started, man.
Most Korean pizza actually deserves to be thrown on roofs rather than eaten.
Deserves to be thrown into an incinerator, I think, or the sun maybe, which is the universe's best incinerator.
I agree. Pizza school does deserve to be thrown into the sun.
That's true. Man, they put corn in the sauce and pizzas here. You have to specifically ask them to not do it. I love South Korea. I've lived here for almost 6 years now. I love it here. But please stop putting corn in your pizza sauce. It's an abomination, man.
It's terrible. I like corn, but corn on pizza is truly awful.
That's right. I mean, some things are good together. Peanut butter and jelly, I mean, I don't know, other things that are good together. But corn and pizza sauce.
Doa and Monty, we're great together.
We are great together. We're definitely no corn and pizza sauce. That's for sure. Name a greater duo. I'll wait. I heard that's a popular meme with the kids on the Instagram these days. Twitters.
You know what's hilarious? Is the
What's
first time I
hilarious?
saw that picture, I had no idea who those people were.
I don't know. I still don't know who those people are. Who are those people?
I think they're sort of related to the Kardashians or something, but
Isn't everyone these days?
I guess. And I also just can't imagine a bigger waste of time than following who the Kardashians are as people.
I thought that the Kardashians were very entertaining, where they were that species in Deep Space Nine. They're really funny to watch in Star Trek.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, that's right. The Kardashians. That's who we're talking about, right?
Yeah, but they were a totalitarian government,
They were funny then.
They were basically space Nazis.
Yeah, but it was pretty funny. At the same time.
Space Nazis are
always
hilarious.
asking people how many lights are there and all that. Those Kardashians. They love making people count lights, I guess.
They do. It's their favorite pastime.
That's right. I bet they throw pizza on roofs too, I've heard.
We have 3 lights still. I know you would say 4, but we actually have 3.
There are 4 lights! Yeah, that's right. Don't ask me. There are 4. Absolutely. You knew you could get that out of me. Well done. Well done. Yeah. Well, the audio issue is ongoing. Again, not with us, with the players in the booth down there somewhere.
That's right. And you know that the audio issue is with them, not with us, because you get to hear us talk about garbage for 5 minutes.
That's right. Garbage like pizza in Korea with corn in it.
Well, we chained that nicely into the Kardashians and then the Kardashians.
It all comes back around.
It didn't come back around at all.
It all progresses naturally.
It all progressed.
Around. Well, I brought it back to the pizza thing, right? Which is where where we started.
It was.
I forgot already.
We started with Breaking Bad.
I love the Runaway team uniforms. They've got these kind of bulky pink sweatshirts. I'm pretty sure I've seen those in retired women in Minnesota wearing those, but they just took them right out of the closet, put the Runaway logo on it. They're wearing them.
That's right. They're trying to appeal to the older Midwestern American demographic.
Why not? That's a graphic I think that could use a lot of outreach in esports. I don't think there's a lot of big esports viewers in that area.
Hey, man, it was successful for the presidential election, so I don't know why.
Actually, not Minnesota, man. Not Minnesota. Maybe other places, but actually
the Midwest as a
not
whole,
Minnesota.
Midwest as a whole, that went pretty well. We should try and reach out to those people as well.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I'll reach out to them, Doa.
Go ahead.
I feel for them, the disaffected white working class.
You want to make them really angry. put some corn in their pizza sauce.
No, I don't want to
That'll
do that.
Whip them into a fervor like nothing else.
Now
you,
you brought
man.
it back around.
That's right. It all came back around.
You got there eventually.
It was all part of the plan, right? Yeah, well, it seems like it's a pretty serious audio issue, guys. Wow. Uh-oh.
I know
We got-
we already touched on their
We got
rather interesting
problems.
pink sweater uniform. That's really quite hipster.
They are.
Actually.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's that ironic sense of dress,
Well,
right?
you look at Huxall, and you've got the big, bulky pink sweatshirt. We're not looking at him right now. We'll hopefully get a shot of him later. But Huxall, the big, bulky pink sweatshirt, and then the really tight, skinny jeans. So he's
Great combo.
I don't-
really.
yeah, kind of like I just got done with ballet class kind of thing. I don't know. Just making guesses. And it's kind of chilly outside. All right, so yeah, headphones, are they working or not?
It's time for earbuds.
You know, I just say we just got to go the Apple way. Just remove the headphone jacks from everything. That'll solve the problems, right?
It solved all the problems, I'm pretty sure. All of them.
Yeah, that's right. Let's just remove all the jacks from everything. Everything wireless now.
I
Charging?
enjoy, yeah,
That's
wireless
cool.
charging
That
is
is cool.
Wireless charging is great.
Does new iPhone have that?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Probably not. Who knows?
I don't know if the
We aren't
technology
sponsored by Apple. We can say whatever we want.
I don't know if the technology is quite there yet, though.
I'm not sure either. But we got the earbuds covered, right? Maybe. Pause. Audio issue. Flash lux.
It's still happening.
Yeah, sure is. And the thing is, you know, one could argue that we could be talking about the matchup more right now. But to be honest, there's really not a whole lot more to talk about. We haven't seen either of these teams play this season. Hasn't been a lot of recent results.
A lot of roster
covered those.
changes.
Yeah. Not much.
I'm curious about Stitch and Renner. That's what I'm curious about going into this game. Because it seems like, why would you make roster change, especially when Runner was literally talking about how good Bumper was?
Yeah, and Stitch didn't play in those promotion matches too, so it is a little bit surprising. See how it works out. But again, you know, like you mentioned, it may just point to the confidence that they feel coming to this match too. Yeah. So who you playing on the ladder these days, Monte Cristo?
I just only play Reinhardt.
Reinhardt?
All
Yeah.
Reinhardt all the time.
So they hit people with hammers?
Yeah, I
That's
can't aim, so I just play
Oh.
right-click only, stand and have smart, intelligent positioning Reinhardt.
Oh.
I can't handle aiming. I'm terrible. I'm too old.
You're not too old to aim. I play aiming characters. I'm older than you, man.
I think
I do just fine.
I think maybe you should think about a swap there too, Noah.
I don't think so. I just put the Discord on them. I've got my golden balls with Zenyatta now. I'm in great shape. We're going to Oasis.
Again?
It's time. That's right. Our control map. Starting things off once more. And there we go. Yeah, check it out. Look at those pink sweatshirts, man. They do look warm and comfy. I will say that.
Runaway, so hot right now.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if they're hot enough to get a hot start on Oasis versus Flash Lux. You see on your screen right now. And I admire these guys for their persistence. They're the only amateur team in the league. Let's see if they can get a big-time pro win here in their first match in Apex Season 2. It's time to go to Oasis. Welcome to Oasis. Is that like a big table for giants to eat on right there?
I think it is
don't know.
representative of a palm tree, though. It's a nice shade that you can sit on right there.
Well, no, because there's a giant like pit of death
there's
underneath
a-
it.
oh,
You
yeah,
can't.
that's
I
right.
don't think you want to. This is a very dangerous place
It
here
really
at City
is.
Center. And again, the green walk sign pointing you right into the pit of death. Wow.
Disappointing, really.
Oasis
Think
is
about
a
it.
dangerous place. All right. Well, Huxall going to be playing Torbjorn. No, I'm just kidding. He's not. He's going to be playing Genji, most likely.
Yeah, probably going to be playing Genji, especially on this map where there's a lot of room to move vertically. And Fleta also looking at pulling out that Pharah. Meanwhile, Cox going to be showing the same hero, and yeah, so much vertical space.
Now, Fleta did play a pretty decent Pharah in that match against MVP Space in that other Korean tournament recently. It didn't get them the win, but we know it is a champion he does like to play. Yeah, Cox, like you said, on the fair as well.
Yeah, actually Runaway going triple DPS right here. Some teams have been running that so far on this patch.
Yeah.
Seen a little bit of it so far, so that single tank. And they're going to be going for this high mobility composition. Fleta still firing away at Cox, not hitting him, has to use that concussive blast just to zoom him out.
You know, he was occupied so much in this Farah duel that's finally over, though.
Haxel took him out
up.
in midair. What a boss, man. Just comes up and assassinates the Farah.
Yes, that's that. Well, Runaway takes the point early, and Flashlux finds themselves on the outside looking in.
Starting to spam through the door right here. So interesting strategy they're going with, Stitch. And we're going to have a pause. Oh, no.
Ah, well, I'm glad you're back, Monty. You know,
back for the sweet bants, you know.
Got you back just in time for the big old pauses. Yeah. Happy days. But this triple DPS is pretty cool from Runaway, and they're certainly a team that can make this work. And we're already seeing Cox kind of come out with something a little bit unique with the Farah. And you combine that with Haxel, it's just a lot of things coming at you from different angles, and it's a lot for Flashlux as an amateur team to kind of deal with.
Yeah, I think it is confusing for Flashlux to deal with this, but also this is just such a great point for triple DPS because there are so many avenues, like you're saying, that you can come from, different ways you can flank, and against teams that may not be as strong in the teamwork or communication department, it's easy to get baited out, to be pulled apart, and then lose those 1v1 duels, and it sort of unravels the entire push onto the point.
Well, we saw Fleta just completely occupied in his Farah duel against Cox, and meanwhile, there's two other DPS on Runaway just tearing his team apart. So that Farah that was supposed to be, you know, occupying a lot of the members of Runaway, getting a lot of damage done, instead was in kind of this, like, air-to-air duel and just didn't end up doing too much.
Yeah, not at all, especially because we didn't see it, but off-camera, Stitch did pick up a couple of early kills on that Tracer, so harassing the supports early on, and you know, they committed to that Pharmacy, but we didn't really see the Mercy up there with the Farah, and so a little bit of a rough start, of course, for Flashlux.
I mean, it answers the question of why they put Stitch in there, you know, going with more of a triple DPS thing. As we get back into the game now, the pause has ended for the moment, and Cox raining death from above. Looks for one. Kaiser helps him pick it up. And now he's got to deal with that Farah 1v1 again. Needs a bit of healing. He's going to get it.
And Stitch is getting so many of these kills off screen, and he's getting them as they engage. So the backline picked apart again by Stitch, actually picks up the Mercy as well.
There's just no way that Flashlux can cover all three DPS right now. Either Haxel, Stitch, or Cox is going to have an advantage to, you know, be kind of unopposed.
Yeah, I didn't see how Martin was actually killed at the start of that fight, but the Tracer getting that early kill, really not a great sign. He's going to try and take control of the high ground here.
Yep. All right, well, that was an interesting choice for the Barrage, but Haxel now has the Dragon Blade. He's got the Nano Boost as well, looking for some kills. Cuts apart Wiso on that Diva. Haxel looking for more now. Takes out Mini Diva. And now again, just going in the air. Wow, this Genji, you're not supposed to be up in the air, Genji. That's where Farah stays.
His positioning has just been so good on this point because he's playing around that central hut right there, the pavilion, and using it as a tool to climb up and then double jump on top of the Farah. So he's actually able to control disguise around the point surprisingly well by using the terrain.
Ooh, interesting little move by Stitch to use a jump pad to get in the back lines. He's going to drop the bomb onto Modern. Modern, though, saved from a lot of that damage. I don't believe it was a stick, and now Stitch has to deal with a bit of a Tracer duel here. Meanwhile, Haxel kills Fleta again on the kill feed. Just when I thought this guy couldn't get better on Genji, he seems to have done just that. They've got the sound barrier now to try to fight this advance, and it's already 99% to 0 in favor of Runaway as they try to finish off the city center point here.
Nice block on the Rockets there, saving a little bit of damage. Still trying to poke out this Farah. Gonna find her. Still on the hunt though. Change the target over to the Lucio rather.
Yeah, he's got the Dragon Blade now. There's an option for the sound barrier from, well, no, Flashlux already used it actually. Now it's over. Stitch unopposed on this Tracer. And again, it's just so much DPS from so many different angles. Very overwhelming for Flashlux to deal with. They're finally going to take the point back at the very end as Runaway just can't quite hold on. And wow, that's a bomb onto Mercy. Whoa, what?
Wow, where'd it go?
I swear I heard that stick.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't actually know what happened to that bomb. But regardless,
Okay. Was it, you know, I heard this, was it maybe absorbed by Wiso? I thought I heard it stick though.
Yeah, it might have been.
Strange. I mean, it was right there, but I'll have to go back and watch that one again. Meanwhile, Wiso does take Shine down. The kill's coming in for Flashlocks as they try to hold on to this point. Cox over on the 76 now. Looks for a couple. Meanwhile, Hoxall gets a few with the Dragon Blade. And Runaway fighting back. There's the overtime ticking once again as Flashlocks has lost that point. And Runaway going to claim first blood here in this best of 5.
Yeah, great just play from Runaway there. They back off the point. They know they can just lose a few percent on it, recollect themselves, have a big ult advantage. So I like how Hoxall was not really trying to get that 100-0, pop that Dragon Blade on the point immediately. Instead, you know, just back off, save it for the rest of your team, and come back with both Tac Visor and the Dragon Blade, clean it up. And you have to know sometimes when to cede ground. It's okay to give up 18%. Who really cares as long as you can finish off the game in a clean manner and not make mistakes or overcommit in a way that's going to give them 40, 50%, maybe even a window back into, you know, coming back from 0% and taking the point. So
coming back, looks like we're on Garden this time. Didn't get to see this point on our last fight. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. This is actually University. Yeah, my bad.
So we are just going to see the push forward here. And Fail now moving over to that Tracer. It looks like Triple Tank is going to be the name of the game for Flashlocks, trying to slow down the triple DPS composition. But Cox is on the Zarya this time.
That's right. Now we did see Shine on that Ana get a lot of nice sleep darts on Tracers in the promotions too. See, it's not an easy 1v1 as Veil is finding out. He's trying to get him out damage to build up that ultimate for the moment. And Runaway in the process of taking the point. Nice deflect kill for Hoxall.
Beautiful.
Yep, gonna come back in. He's gonna take a nap, but in the meantime, Runaway will take the point first. There's a bomb. Stitch gets one onto Eunice with the pulse bomb by Modern.
Yeah, and in spite of the first kill going over two Flashlocks right there, they couldn't actually capitalize on that 6v5, and instead you see a very fast pulse bomb coming through from Stitch, and Hoxall with a crucial reflect onto a fire strike to just burn through the shield and make sure they pick up that first kill.
Yep. Stitch backing away. Just going with the 2-2-2 composition. This time Runaway, 2 DPS, 2 tanks, 2 DPS, and that is an Earth Shatter. Whoa. Wow, okay, a Runaway chains that Earth Shatter into a pretty huge teamfight win. And there goes Modern at the end. I guess now we can call him Post-Modern.
Is that right?
That's right. It's obvious.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
It's like your favorite kind of art.
Oh no, don't get me started. It's worse than corn and pizza. Stitch has that pulse bomb.
We all know people have listened to us for years know about your secret love for Mark Rothko, your favorite artist.
Oh, don't get me. Don't get me started on that, man. All right, Nanoboost time for Flashlocks make that sound barrier time actually as they try to push their way into the point, but not making a lot of progress as Veil gets one, but then Shine takes out the opposing Ana. So Fled on the point right now. Over onto the Roadhog. That was the hero we played, fairly often in the match. We saw them in a little bit earlier in December, but not able to get a lot done with it. Runaway up to 80% on the control percentage already.
Yeah, having a pretty solid ult advantage here as well. Stitch going to be probably charging up that pulse bomb a little faster. Here we go.
All right, Hoxall cutting apart people in the Graviton search. How many times have we seen this? Gets 2 kills before the sleep dart comes in. Cox there to finish them off. And Flashlocks losing nearly everybody. There goes Veil, and it's into overtime already. Eunice managed to get back there with Lucio, but he's not going to last long. OT ticks away and Runaway with a quick 2-0 here on Oasis.
Yeah, looking extremely dominant. I mean, what do you say right now? I think that tactically, what we saw from Flashlocks trying to switch over to the multiple tanks, but they are just getting outskilled at basically every opportunity. They're losing the duels. Runaway playing more intelligently as a team and around their ultimates, and man, Hoxall just been going off on this Genji.
It's like we said, this guy was already a phenomenal Genji player, and if that first map was any indication, he has upped it even from the level he was at before.
Well, I think the problem that Runaway had is that, yes, last season, Hoxall came out and basically eviscerated Reunited. 3-0 in that first match, but they ended up falling down to 4th place in their group because once people found an answer for Hoxall, once he was focused, it didn't really matter what his level of Genji play was. But when he's got Cox and he's got Stitch now for the first time to check out.
Oh,
and
I
try
know this
and
one.
Distract the team. He really opens up so much room for him to move, and
Oh, wow.
I mean that's
barely gets around it.
That's terrible Reinhardt positioning. You know, well, no, not what I want to say from the other team. So
Sure.
I mean, you need to make sure that you actually have that blocked up. But we saw that same thing on Oasis on University in our last map. Controlling that point with crowd control is so crucial. And it really can snowball very quickly. I think if you have a criticism of that point, it's, you know, Zarya and Reinhardt so good for just dealing with that singular choke point and snowballing matches from there.
All right, well, looks like it's going to be Eichenwald for our second map of the match. Of course, the choice was given over to Flash Lux. They decided to go with that, so confident on their ability to tie up this series, perhaps, on this hybrid map. We'll see what they can do.
Interesting to see if they come out a little bit stronger on some of the payloads. Perhaps that might be their weakness, for all we know, with the new Flash Lux roster, but
We'll see. We will see. Of course, you know, theoretically a couple more maps at least to go in this best of 5, so a chance for Flash Lux to prove themselves. They're going to try to tie things up right now in Eichenwald. Let's see who takes it.
I get it.
You know, I'm not sure I get it yet. I'm trying to get it, but
hey,
you know, I
we've
think
been-
I've nearly gotten it a couple times.
we've
but
been getting it for 2 seasons, Noah.
we do. That's true. I'm just trying to relate,
You relate
you know,
to the
to
song?
people that don't get it. But I actually do get it. I have to admit, I get it. Sorry,
We
I
get
do
it.
get it. I miss Bang 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 though.
I miss it a little bit too. He promised
I
a
miss the Saki
Junkrat
K.
song.
Well, he said he was working on it. We'll see. We'll see if it happens or not. You know. I asked him, you know, at the finals. I asked him, you know, why did you write a song about McCree? And he's like, I just hate McCree so much. I hate playing against McCree. I had to write a song about it. Well, Oxall kills a lot of on Genji.
Yes.
There were a lot of highlights like this from Season 1.
Well, that was from the qualifiers.
There's a lot of highlights like that at the qualifiers.
Yeah, really impressive stuff. But the roster changes really have given Hawksall more room to move. And
True.
we are going to see Flash Lux here, putting Fleta back on that Pharah. No Mercy this time around.
Not
Standard
this time.
2-2-2 composition here. Runaway. See if they make some last-second changes. Cox not
Yeah, I
likely
think
to
so.
stick around on that Mercy. Will be going back to the Pharah. So this is what worked for them. Now the first point of Oasis.
It's such a bizarre situation to have this this Pharah mirror match between Fleta and Cox. And I gotta say, you know, Cox is looking a lot better in the mirror so far.
That's cheeky, coming around the side there over the top of the buildings, trying to get some rocket spam into the doorway and play with the line of sight.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Oxall just dives right in. The line of sight is easy to find if you're right next to some people. Trying to get the kill onto Kisu. That's Anna already down. Flash Lux getting a couple kills of their own. Able to hold the point for the moment here.
And we can't
Shine
go.
and Runner kind of on their own.
It's really difficult if you go even on this first point as defense when it comes to kill. They may be able to get Shine. No!
Oh, Shine!
Oh, concussive blast didn't knock him off. And
That
he
is rough, man.
just punches Fleta right in the face.
That was one of those Anna moments where you're like, how did I live through that? But they're back, and that biotic grenade onto Reinhardt might lead to a pretty fast capture for Runaway here on offense. Cox is on the McCree right now. Gets a little bit low, but he'll be just fine. Meanwhile, Flash Lux back in action. The defense has returned. Cox looking for a kill. Can't quite get it with the fan the hammer. Finds a headshot onto Vale, though, before he's taken out by Fleta. Fleta
Wow.
getting 2, actually, there.
That was impressive, him able to come back in such a short period of time. Runaway, they attempted to take that point, but Flash Lux, as soon as that grenade came in, Wiso backed his way through the door, waited for the rest of his team, and they don't even get one tick on the point. So
Yeah.
surprisingly successful defense here from Flash Lux.
Yeah, not bad.
Stitch gonna be coming around the other
Whoa!
side.
He took a Helix rocket to the face, but got enough damage done, got his health back with a recall, got the grenade down onto Wiso and got the kill. Runaway coming in with a vengeance here as Hawksall uses a nano boost and Puts it to good use.
Yeah, they threw the kitchen sink at Flashlux though, and Flashlux should have a pretty good hold in the castle phase right here. Flooded going to be switching over to the Roadhog, looking for those high ground hooks. Wow, it'd be huge if Huxall can win this duel. Doesn't get the kill though, so has to back off. If he had won that, they might have been able to bypass some of this time. Stitch actually switching to Widow.
Yeah, and you know, we've seen the effect that this Widowmaker can have in our very last match against Soldier 76s. Aren't playing things quite the same as they maybe should. Looking for another one, can't quite find the kill. There's a Graviton Surge from Flashlux as they go in on the defense. And Modern finding one. Looks like that defense that you talked about is going to work out. They popped the sound barrier at the end. I don't know if that was quite a necessary ultimate from Eunice, but they get the defense either way.
In fact, it would have been wonderful for them to save that. They had already won the fight by using the Graviton Surge and getting the initial picks, but now we're into an ultless situation for both teams, although at least Flashlux maintains that high ground control. I do agree with switching up that Widow. I think it's really weird. Wow, okay.
Flooded got the kill on the Huxall. It's a good start.
Yeah, must have just hit that hook. I think it's weird to play Widow when the enemy team has high ground control on this second point, because you just don't have any angles to shoot from, so I'm glad to see them not really commit to that.
I gotta say, Fled is making a difference on this Roadhog. Killed Huxall, and he also managed to take down Cox as well in that last fight. I believe.
2 HP.
It's a close call for Cox.
Does get a little bit of healing there from this Ana. Eunice very low inside the castle right now, and it's still moving the payload.
Yeah, they're trying to anyway. Nano Boost used as Flashlux tries to fight back. Huxall just sitting on the payload for the moment, gets his own Nano Boost. There's a Dragon Blade, gets a kill on the Kisu, looking for a little bit more. Meanwhile, Cox able to hold up his end of the DPS deal. Huxall finishing blows, and looks like Runaway gonna keep this payload moving as Cox trying to go a little bit forward here.
I did have to drop the tack visor. Maybe Runaway overcommitted to that as well with both the Dragon Blade and the tack visor, but it's going to be one final defense here. Chance for Flashlux. They come in with 2 big CC ults and the whole hog. That's going to be popped immediately.
Yeah, Stitch, a little bit of trouble, heals up at the last second. Huxall goes down actually, and Flashlux look like they may have found themselves a hold here at the very end.
Couldn't quite pull him off the edge. Nice attempt there by Stitch to get the pick onto the Roadhog, but Hook can't quite grab that Reinhardt and shove him over, and Flashlux has a nice opportunity to retake the high ground. Kaiser did not manage to hit the Earth Shatter at the start of that fight. Wiso's counter Earth Shatter doing some work, and start to play conservatively, see if they get any shots right there, but Flashlux going to be coming through the castle doors.
Yeah, Huxall just trying to survive the assault on the high ground as he dives his way through there. Meanwhile, Stitch with that whole hog just trying to push people away so they can get the payload. They're looking for Eunice. Can't find him. Gets a hook though. Manages to pull in Fleda and get the Roadhog v Roadhog kill. But overall, Runaway losing more people on their side. If Huxall can equalize, it's going to be huge, but he can't quite get it done. Stitch on his own until the respawns come in there. He's getting some heals from the Ana, but he's going to need a bit more. There's the pin. Gonna live for the moment, and he gets the kill on the Wiso. Wiso just a bit too low to get that final left click to finish off Stitch.
Yeah, 300 damage, not enough to actually kill that Roadhog. Now we're gonna see a re-engagement here. Kaiser's there. Modern trying to actually just use the shields to protect these entrances. Eunice gets grabbed.
Wow, this is kind of bad for Zarya as well. Stitch has plenty of health to work with, and he's got the whole hog. Vale gets 2 with the Deadeye though. Doesn't stop the payload from making it to the end of point B, and now Runaway is going to begin their final push.
Stitch not dying right there and taking out the enemy Reinhardt. Wiso was so crucial for them to be able to push forward. Still 2 minutes left on the clock, and Runaway's coming in with 3 big ultimates to use here, including a nano-boosted whole hog on this next push. Fleta going to switch over to the Reaper to try and bust some tanks.
The Flashlux not really too close to any of the ultimates themselves. They're going to have to be very careful on this defense. Kaiser coming in. Massive Earth Shatter used. Gets the pin even at the end. And that's a pretty decisive team fight win for Runaway. Huxall nearly has that Dragon Blade up yet again. Vale did get the kill into Stitch.
Flashlux knew they were behind in ult economy, so they said, okay, we're just going to switch to May and Reaper anyway. Don't have a chance to get those big ults in, so try and punish those short-range heroes of the May and the Reaper, and it looks like they may have stabilized. Huxall's got to do work. Yeah,
he's got 2 kills already, though. That's a good start. Make that 3, looking for a bit more. Hoxall on the attack, only 30 health remaining though. Gets a little bit of healing, but he's going to need to get the kill on the Reinhardt. There it is finally, and they're going to push it the rest of the way. Runaway, 3 points on their offensive round here on Eichenwald.
Yeah, minute 5, definitely a respectable time for Eichenwald. Not obviously fantastic, but even if you could push through to that 3rd point, still convincing play there. And it was one of those unfortunate timings for Flashlux because, yeah, they did swap their heroes, but they knew they were really far behind the ult economy game, so they needed high-impact heroes that weren't going to have, necessarily need those ultimates that could combat some of the short-range hero selections coming in on the side of Runaway. But you can get rolled very quickly in that last point if you get those big combos, and Hoxall delivered.
Yeah. Indeed. Runaway looking like a bit of a dangerous team because, before it was just Hoxall, right? If Hoxall had a good game, Runaway had a good game. Now, they've got Cox to rely on. They've got Stitch as well to pull out. And they've got suddenly all these threats where before they really just had one. And seems like their coordination is kind of living up to utilizing those threats as well.
I think Stitch has been impressive. I mean, he's a player we haven't seen before, so interesting that he is coming out and having a surprisingly good debut here. Hawk's going to be on the Roadhog this time around. Hoxall actually on the Zarya, so typically we see those reversed, at least in the qualifiers.
Yep.
Trying out something a little bit different. We'll see how Hoxall's Zarya is.
Well, that's a lot of momentum in that hammer. You wonder if maybe the suit prevents nausea, perhaps?
You'd hope so.
That old dude could take some G-forces, that's for sure. Oh, whoa! Hoxall! Scary stuff, man.
Probably make you pretty dizzy to be having a rocket-powered hammer, holding onto it and swinging it in a giant circle.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you were using a rocket-powered hammer in general, you just end up swinging the circle a lot. So take off like a helicopter.
I suppose it depends on how strong you are.
Well, if it were me, it would not go well.
Yeah, definitely would not go well for me either.
Flood it back on the Pharah. They've got Kisu on the Mercy, so Pharmacy incoming for Flashlux. A little bit of dive from Modern and Wiso. Veil as well. So, interesting. Pharmacy along with some dive. We'll see if Runaway can handle it. They've got a very stable triple tank with the Soldier 76 comp.
They don't have the same verticality to shut this down that they did on Oasis, though, with the Genji.
Well, they're
able to get up there.
They're going to really have to rely on Shine to deal with this Pharah. Even the Soldier 76 can struggle sometimes.
Kisu got charged right there, actually, by Kaiser. How does Kisu keeps getting picked off on this Mercy in very weird ways.
Stitch gets a kill onto Veil, and Fleto without his healer has to back off a bit. And finally, Cox does find the kill onto Eunice.
It's been an awkward time. I really have to question Kisu's Mercy positioning in this match because he's dying to Tracer, he's dying to Reinhardt charges. Like, he should not be in these positions, especially when he has a Pharah that he can reliably use to get out of harm's way and back up into the air against composition that really only has a soldier to deal with that.
Wow, Stitch handling Wiso quite well so far.
Wiso is playing Tracer now.
Yeah.
Normally they're Reinhardt player, so really interesting swap up.
He started out on Tracer on this map, but it has not worked out very well so far, as you can see.
Yeah, they're trying to run, a similar style of composition to what we saw Runaway using, which is 3 DPS single tank with that Winston, but they are nowhere near as proficient as playing it, I should say.
Certainly not working out. Dale coming in now on the Genji. Has that Dragon Blade ready to go. Stitch got the kill on the Eunice, though. Nice Helix rocket, long-range snipe on the Lucio, and Runaway forced to kind of take a break until Lucio comes back. It's going to delay him another 10, 12 seconds to get set up again.
It's just awkward. Like, I don't like the Mercy instead of the Ana.
Wow, right behind the Pharah. Nobody's stopping Stitch right now in the Soldier 76. And I mean, what can you say? It's a rout completely. Runaway arguably didn't even need to use that sound barrier.
I mean, this is the push, though, right? Flashlux 85% on the sound barrier. Flashlux is looking at 6 ult push eventually.
Whoops. Ooh. I can pretty much guarantee you Wisu did not want to use his pulse bomb there.
That's rough. I mean, they still are going to have a huge ult advantage to work with because Runner did throw away his sound barrier right there. They have to do something, but a lot of time already shaved off the clock.
Yep. When it comes in, he's got the barrage, but he needs to really make it work. Veil with the kill already. Nox with the kill onto Veil in response. There's a barrage. Good angle. Not a lot of response there. Gets the kill onto Cox. Oxall a little bit low on this Zarya, may not survive, and there's the sound barrier to perhaps give Flashlux the win in this fight. So far,
Nice
so good.
shot.
Yeah, great mid-air snipe onto Stitch, and Fleta finally making this Pharaoh look. There we go. That's the push that Flashlux has been looking for, and they will finally claim point A, it looks like.
That was some
Uh-oh.
impressive
Close call.
accuracy. Fleta
Yeah.
really delivering right there, opening up with a barrage and then landing a number of rockets, but still time is ticking off the clock as Cox just is as annoying as he can be.
Yep. Cox just trying to delay for as long as possible here, and Runaway has gotten some people back on the points right now. The control meter almost up for Flashlux. There's the Earth Shatter coming in from Kaiser. Gets the kill onto Vale. Mercy comes in. Can they get the res off? No, he doesn't even have it yet. Oh, and a long distance charge again on Kisu. Bad luck, Mercy getting killed twice by charges this round. And now with overtime ticking away, Runaway might win Eichenwald right here. Oh yeah, Stitch not gonna let him get close with that tac visor, and overtime forced. Well, we'll see how long it lasts. Not long, and Runaway with an easy win here on Eichenwald.
The big mistake there, Doa, is what we didn't see. So Fleta got those series of kills, killed the Ana, and then somehow died outside of the point range to the Soldier 76, didn't return to the point with the rest of his team, and that meant that there was a possibility of a 6v5 coming back through on the retake from Runaway. Really quite disappointing play. Like, you see a great play like that from Fleta, and then all of a sudden it's turned on its head because he just went a little bit too far. And
that's the thing. It's not even a huge mistake to try to go a little bit farther ahead while your team takes a point and prevent the respawns from coming in. But with the amount of health he had, the lack of support behind it, not the play to make.
Well, it's one of those decisions, too, where he had already made the big play. And did he really need to go after the Ana, go over the houses in towards the second point? If it was going to expose him from a spawning soldier. And, got to say, maybe the answer is that's not the wisest move in a professional game to take that kind of risk.
Definitely seems like that's the case. Well, when we come back, Flashlux fights for their life. Runaway looking to maybe pick up their first 3-0 of the season. So do not go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with Overwatch Apex Season 2 right after this. Hey, we're back on OGN Apex Season 2. Doa and Monte Cristo here and Runaway up 2-0 over Flash Lux. It's been looking pretty one-sided so far, hasn't it?
It definitely has. There's no other real way to put it.
Yep.
Flash Lux seems seriously outclassed. They have really no way to deal with the dive of Stitch's Tracer and Hoxal's Genji. We really haven't even seen swaps to heroes that would effectively control either of those picks, and they've even been trying to replicate some of the triple DPS comps that we've seen Runaway use, but with significantly less success.
Yeah. Well, could be the final map of the night coming up here. We'll see what Flash Lux chooses for their assault map out of our available pool. I believe it's Volskaya and Hanamura tonight. No, Volskaya and Temple of Anubis. See what they go with. Temple of Anubis.
Well, this is going to be interesting. This was actually a really good map for Runaway in the qualifiers. This is where Cox was playing a lot of Widowmaker.
Yep.
Very successfully. In fact, he turned around like a 6v3 against him just by the rest of his team running a dive composition, and while they died, he was picking up like a 4K on the back end of it on point A, and they converted very quickly. So I don't know if I would have picked this one.
Well, the thing is, you can run the Widowmaker just fine on Volskaya Industries too.
That's true.
It's you know, it's better on. It's probably arguably better on Temple of Anubis. There's better firing lines, but you know, we've seen it on Volskaya. So you know, they're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. See if Flash Lux can get any sort of momentum going here, or if the 3-0 is incoming from Runaway. Let's go to Temple of Anubis and find out.
I get it.
He gets it.
We get it too.
We do get it. Ooh, Cox on the Symmetra. Huh. See if he sticks to it.
Yeah, we will see if they stick with it. Symmetra and potentially that Torbjorn would be pretty interesting defense.
That'd be something.
We've seen Symmetra Torbjorn defenses on Anubis before. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
All right, here we go.
Man, Cox's hero pool has really been impressive. We're going to watch this again where he just murders everybody.
Jeez.
Notice that a lot of his team is dead. Now, it must be said that was exceptionally poor play from Africa Red around their own Reinhardt's shield to allow that to happen. So
True.
There is guilt there from the side of Africa Red. And Stitch is going to be playing the Pharah this time. So they are mixing up their roles, and where it's going to be turret time here between the Symmetra and, I suppose, Oxal's actually going to play the Torb.
We're really seeing too kind of a new school of setting things up with Symmetra now, since she got that buff where you put all of your turrets really far forward, and because you recharge turrets so quickly now, you can just kind of replace everything once the attacking team slowly moves through and takes out what you put down.
Very interesting place for a Torbjorn turret. Yeah, and also it gives you like 20 to 30% charge as they advance onto the point right away if you're lucky.
That's the hope
gonna
anyway.
Get 14% right now. Will be the Widowmaker for Vale here.
Has to back away.
Push up. Nice shot on the Stitch. Taking her out of midair.
That's exactly what you want from the Widowmaker here. Fleta already on the point right now, takes down Shine, and this is looking a little bit risky for Runaway. They've got to bring it back. 5 hit points on Fleta right now. Manages to stay alive, and Vale with another kill from that Widowmaker on the Kaiser. We thought it'd be Cox making all the plays on the Widowmaker.
Vale came through with that Widowmaker in a big way, and the problem with running things like Symmetra Torbjorn is, yes, if you get ult charges on those heroes, you're going to be really powerful. You could extend your defense for several minutes if you have a Molten Core and you have a shield generator going, but you are vulnerable on those initial pushes, and powerful initial push tool is having that Widowmaker. Vale going to switch over to the Pharah now, though.
Yep. Sign in the audience said Flash Lux have strength, essentially, and so far they're looking like they certainly do with this push on Temple of Anubis.
You're going to get slowed down, though. You know, you can't chain a useful hold off that Widowmaker, but Fleta comes through.
Yeah, the hook disconnected, though. So Vale did survive on that Pharah. Fleta in the action with the Genji right now. Really low health, though, has to be careful. Haksal comes in with a bit of revenge, gets 2 kills himself here as Runaway tries to defend their point.
And they're going to be split spawn by this pretty badly as this D.Va gets chased down, commits suicide via Reflect.
Reflecticide. That was the name of my metal band in college.
Reflecticide?
That's right. We like to think really hard about like our past, where we're going in life.
I thought you just had like your stage setup with just a bunch of mirrors.
That'd be cool too, actually. But we never got around to it. We didn't have you as our stage manager, sadly.
Well, I would have been great for Reflecticide.
Well,
Believe you me.
when we do the Reflecticide reunion tour, you're invited. Don't worry. Wiso coming in now on the D.Va. He's got that self-destruct ready to go. 4 ultimates available. Gonna send in the self-destruct early. Doesn't catch anyone. Haksal, though, does find Kisu. Finds Eunice as well. Both supports down. And then he goes after Vale. Stitch finishes that kill off. Haksal in the back lines now. And man, talk about massacre, which is what Haksal's name means in Korean. It's apt, isn't it?
It's very apt. He's living up to,
Oh, hi.
man, the split spawn around that sleep dart was so real. And they're going to be taken out, buying another 10 seconds. And again, Flashlux, they just don't have answers to Haksal and a Tracer, whether it's Cox or Stitch in their back line. Like, they just get annihilated by this every time. They're not coordinated enough to really do anything about it. And it's leading to quite a few problems.
Pretty much. Speaking of Stitch, Graviton Surge ready to go, and he's being a sneaky Zarya right now. There we go, catches him. Can they get through the Reinhardt shield? We will see. Looking for some damage, Sound Barrier gets used. Wiso gets a kill onto Haksal, actually. Wasn't able to get in there with the Dragon Blade like he wanted to. Sound Barrier used for Runaway, as now the defense gets a little bit frantic here. While Vale still has a barrage available.
They weren't able to pick up any kills
Bye.
after forcing that out or after surviving Haksal's initial engagement, and now
back.
guess who's back?
Well, he didn't get to use the Dragon Blade before he died last time, but now he's putting it to pretty good use. Gets 2 kills before he's taken down, but Flashlux overall stopped pretty cold. And Cox on this Tracer actually doing pretty well. In the backlines to just be annoying. Look at that, going all the way back to spawn.
Absolutely. The response from Flashlux was pretty good. I mean, you drop the Lucio ult, try and survive that initial wave. They got on a grenade in there.
Oh boy.
Picked him up.
Nobody sees me.
Oh, this is such a hero play.
Oh, he's gonna get the stick. No kills though out of that.
He stuck Winston, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think he actually should have tried that play earlier on to Ana.
I agree.
It was cute, but not the best. At least Vale has switched to the McCree now, so finally they're trying to have some answers for this composition, but Haksal flipping over to the Mei may not be as effective as they would like, and Cox just eliminating Modern right out of that front line.
Yep. I thought maybe Cox overextended there, but he stayed alive and put it to good use. Great harassment on this Tracer. Meanwhile, Haksal becomes a nice block. Nice wall. Manages to trap Modern, I believe, there. Fleta, rather, on the Zarya. And another easy defense. Look at this. Cox just in the middle of Runaway, and there's nothing they can do. They're back at spawn.
Yeah, did throw away his pulse bomb onto the Winston shield. So,
Yeah,
again, he's not the best use, but they're being sneaky. Look at this. They're playing so far forward. Maywall comes through, isolates 2.
Wow.
This is just styling at this point.
It is. It's, I mean, really, it's just kind of the Runaway show at this point. Haksal on the Mei, that's one of the heroes he plays. He's been playing a little bit more often. We saw it in promotions.
He's got some creative use of the Mei wall right there, but I mean, look at the way Runaway is playing. They are fighting them on point A, on a point B defense right now. They have a huge ultimate advantage. Haksal about to get that Blizzard, and in spite of that first quick cap by Flashlux, they haven't been able to put anything together since that point.
That's right. Fleta just trying to build up that Graviton Surge as Flashlux with 2 minutes remaining. They've got some time. They did get a pretty fast point A take, but they need to make something happen here. We saw with the Earth Shatter, waiting out that Graviton Surge from Runaway. Has to back away as Kaiser gets 2, though.
Yeah, and they committed 2 ults to that, but they slowed him down once again. Flashlux, they've had some awkward times so far in this series where they seem not to know when to use their ults, so we end up in situations where it's like Flashlux makes 1 push with 6 ults, but even a 6 ult push can be shut down pretty easily with a Blizzard and a Sound Barrier.
Flashlux is building up a lot of ults, though. They're almost up to 5. Maybe, just maybe, they can make a big push and somehow get through the massive amount of ults that Runaway has built up as well.
It's going to be kind of a miracle. Minute 20 left. They got to bait this Blizzard out and then try and go in with their ults.
All right,
there's
Oxall with the Blizzard, yeah, and this is not looking good for Flashlux already. Ice block as Stitch gets the kill onto Wiso. That's the Reinhardt down. Cox once again in the back line. And they just can't get him out of there.
And just more forward play. Runaway, they've bought so much time by killing people after the fight has been over effectively. And I did commit pretty hard to that, but they still have a sound barrier. Flashlux going to be looking for a 5-ult push. This has got to work.
Yep. This is it. 44 seconds to go. This is the push that must get Flashlux a second point. All right, high noon for Vale. Ooh, Cox.
Wow.
Gotta be careful. Here's the sound barrier. Flashlux going in. Use some ults already. Earthshatter does get blocked. Wiso hit with the pulse bomb, though. He's gonna go down. Cox with 2 kills already, and Shine picking a 1 up on the Eunice. Vale coming back with a little bit more, but it's not enough to take the point. That was a push, and it did not work out. Yeah, that's not gonna. Sorry, McCree. You're a cool character, but that's not gonna work.
It was a desperation flashbang. Yeah, that's going to be about it here.
That's it, man. Runaway gonna hold on point A. There's another Blizzard. Kaiser gets a kill on the Modern, but that is it. And Runaway holds Flashlux to just 1 point on Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, that means they've got to just take that second point here, and they will successfully 3-0 this match. And one thing about Runaway is since they changed their roster, they have yet to drop a single map. Noah.
Yeah.
And now it has been against Flashlux, and it has been against other teams within the qualifier. So we're not talking about the cream of the crop, but their dominance has been pretty complete.
Well, one of those matches was against Freaka Red, which arguably is actually a pretty good team right now. So, you know, I think we may have a lot to expect from Runaway this season. We'll find out as they go on the attack here on Temple of Anubis. Flashlux fighting for their life. They must hope for at least a tie here. They have to hold Runaway to 1 point if they want to have any hope of continuing on to this match.
Absolutely. So Flashlux going to be going pretty standard here. Triple soldier or triple tank plus soldier. Triple soldier. Wow.
Triple.
Good thing.
I'm having no hero limit flashbacks at this point.
Yeah. Good thing that was changed right now.
Wow. There were days. To triple soldier, double Winston, 1 Lucio. The ultimate control point comp back in beta. The double Lucio, double Winston, double soldier.
Ugh. Bad times.
Yeah. You can do a double tracer with that too if you want.
Don't you miss the double Genji, double Zenyatta days?
No, I don't. Thank you so much for changing that, Blizzard. Those are not the days.
Orbs just stuck on people forever.
I'm really well. I like that as a Zenyatta player, but I'm glad we never had to cast that. That was not fun, man.
Me too. It was dark. It was a dark time.
That's right. Props to some of those dudes that survived that era. Well done. Here we go. Cox on May, perhaps.
Yeah, on offense.
Interesting.
Oxall on the Genji. Usually it's been, man, Cox has played so many different heroes between the qualifier and today. It's pretty ridiculous how deep this guy's hero pool is.
Yeah, it's pretty massive.
They're not going to drop a wall to even get into the point right now. What are they doing?
They're, I guess, setting the trap. Oh, it's the old energy play. They're going to boost
so
them up.
Sneaky.
Wow, they got Flashlux out of position by going on the left side, coming back in. Cox is asleep. He's going to get in the ice block just in time, but Flashlux already on the back foot there. Runaway with a brilliant attack here on point A, but can they make it work? Wiso says no. That's 2 kills already. Vale gets 1. Hoxall goes down. It was cute, but in the end, not work out, and Runaway's going to have to go back to the drawing board.
So usually you would see people walk through that point. I was curious why they didn't use the May wall to get into that room to block line of sight.
Yeah.
And instead, they use Lucio's speed to bum rush the high ground and try and surprise Flashlux. Doesn't end up working, but really smart team coordination right there. And you can tell that's a very clever play that they have been practicing.
I love it. It's awesome. Oh, Earthshatter comes in. Flashlux with the defense. Got hit by a big biotic grenade, though. And the kills are all Runaway so far. Modern finally picks up 1, but this is a dangerous moment for Flashlux as Runaway seems to have a pretty good position on the point. If they can take out Vale, they'll be in good shape. Haxall wants to save that Dragon Blade. Looks like he's going to get his wish as he gets 2 kills without even needing to use it.
Yeah, they had a pretty serious numbers advantage on that point after the initial push, so not dedicating it to killing Vale. And this is where things get scary because Flashlux has no ults. They're going to have attack visor by the time the next fight starts, but there's and hopefully a nano boost as well. But if Runaway's fast, they can get the nano visor or the nano blade down first.
Well, Cox is going to have Blizzard here too in a second on May, and that's going to make it really tough for Flashlux to stay on the point. Haxall
trying to kill Vale.
Yeah, looking for that Dragon
That's
Blade.
huge,
Does
huge
get the kill on Vale, yeah. Kaiser gets one. Here comes the Blizzard now. Goes for the kill onto Eunice on the outside. They've got the sound barrier. It's time for Haxall to go in. Cutting away at that Winston, turns onto the Diva. Got that nano boost, but Fleta not able to do much with it. So far, so good for Runaway, and now a couple ults again. Stitch and Shine up. There's up. Vale switches over to the Pharah to try to be annoying, but Kaiser immediately takes him down with a Fire Strike. Are you kidding me? Runaway just all over point B here, and Eunice cannot survive. Another kill for Haxall. And what can you say, man? This team has come into Apex Season 2 so strong.
Absolutely, and they just keep on ticking this down. Another Winston's going to respawn, so maybe they can do something with this. Sound Barrier's going to come through.
Now Graviton Surge locks up a lot of those members of Flashlux, and so that Sound Barrier not going to be too effective when everyone's held in place. Meanwhile, Cox is already at 60% right now. May have another Blizzard before the end of this fight. Haxall got a second Dragon Blade there, and he's going for it. That's it. Runaway with the easy second point on Temple of Anubis, and they are going to take this match 3-0.
Well, I mean, the target selection there was great. So they knew Vale had outlasted the rest of his team in that initial defense on point A, so he was likely to be close to attack visor.
Yeah.
And you can see this target selection. Haxall killing him immediately at the start of that really was the right call from Runaway. They get that very valuable initial pick, force the soldier with the ultimate to die very early on, and they roll up the point from there. So really smart shot calling, I think, from Runaway. Also some fun tactics. I really like the mind games around that Maywall boost, even though it didn't ultimately get them that point.
No, I mean, it was a nice trick. It was a nice try, right? But great team play overall. Haxall looking fantastic as ever, but for me, it's all about Cox. I mean, he had so many. I couldn't make it through one match. I'm trying to be professional here, Monte Cristo.
I know, Don.
It was the Cox show. What can I say? Cox is great.
He really had
He could do so much. All over Flashlux, and I mean, so much strategy.
So much
Individual
strategy.
play.
So such a deep hero.
Why do you name himself that? This is esports, man. Why'd you do that?
For moments like that, though. Beautiful.
I'm so sorry. I tried so hard. I got so far, but in the end, didn't even matter.